I hadn't a very good childhood, to be honest with you. In the back streets of Belfast, we had a council house, so we were very poor. We had very little money. Well, we never knew what firecrackers were for years because we weren't allowed them. We weren't allowed anything to do with fireworks because basically they used to think they were guns going off. And when I came to live here, I was still pretty afraid because my husband, I married an English chap when I came over here. We went to Victoria Station and I wouldn't stand next to the policeman. I said, they're targets, you know. And he said, the targets for what? They had Halloween over here and I nearly died. Because we were in the car and this big bang went off and I went, ah, what's that? Peter says, it's Halloween. I thought it was a bomb. I worked in Belfast, you see, when it was really bad. And we had bombs around us quite a bit. And one went off, not just actually across the street from where I was working. And we were actually very lucky because it had bulletproof glass or we'd have been dead because we could see the glass just coming towards us. I trained as a nurse to help others and then I came full circle, having worked in IT for 20 years, to actually end up in drug development, which was, you know, the point of that was to help others. One of the projects was 444 million. So you're dealing with, you know, large projects across multiple countries. I had never had any children, so my career was my life to a large extent. I was running a whole department at one stage and I ran it for over 18 months and I felt I was doing a really good job. We were making a lot of money, we'd standardised as much as we could. I had 18 people working for me and one day I went in and I was told this was my new boss. I wasn't even considered for the job. It's definitely a gender issue. The 25 years I've been in project management, I must have a scar somewhere. So that's when I knew I had a glass ceiling. In February of 2010, I had a nervous breakdown, mainly from overwork and poor management, really. And I was under threat of losing my job. So all of that sort of stress built up. So I went into work one Thursday, I think it was. I'd been in Boston the week before, and it had been a dreadful journey, and I was incredibly tired from it. And I'd got in to do a decision-making matrix for one of the managers. And on Thursday, I wasn't feeling good at all. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I couldn't organise anything because mostly my life is organising stuff. By Friday, I was actually in tears the whole day. I went to see my GP on Monday and he said it was stress and I was having a nervous breakdown. I had to stop. And I was sick then for about 4 months. I couldn't do anything, couldn't drive. If I was left on my own in the supermarket, I just started to cry. And I couldn't really do anything, couldn't cook, couldn't do anything for myself. I started to get better from the nervous breakdown. I realised that I had something wrong with my spine. And I went to see the GP who referred me to get an MRI scan. And the MRI scan showed degenerative disc disease and arthritis of the spine. I was diagnosed with depression then, of course, and I was on pills. And I realised that I actually needed more help. And I was also, at that time, talking more almost daily to the Samaritans. So they were absolutely superb with me. They're very supportive. And then they suggested some other charities that I could talk to who were more, if you like, in tune with the problems that I was having. And I rang them and I explained how urgent it was and they saw me within a day. And then I started having counselling once a week with them. And that made a great deal of difference. I think without the charity workers I wouldn't have survived, to be honest. They were so in tune with what was wrong with me because basically many of them had suffered in the same way. And it's a very humbling experience because, you know, you're doing a high-flying job 1 minute and you're on your knees the next. And here's all these really lovely people, you know, giving their time to help you get back on your feet again. Any time after 3 in the afternoon, I'm in so much pain that I often can't function. I did have an episode of just overnight not having drugs, and when I was hospitalised for a suicide attempt, they wouldn't give me anything, obviously, because I'd used the drugs to try and commit suicide. And unfortunately, then I was without any medication at all, and I was absolute torture. It was dreadful. The hardest thing I've found is to accept my physical limitations. And I have to thank the pain clinic in Canterbury for helping me with that. I went on a pain course and the pain course helped me accept my situation. Unfortunately, it didn't help my husband accept it and he wanted to end the marriage because I was disabled and he couldn't cope with me being disabled. So now I live on my own. I've got my own house and a little dog, and I'm sort of building a life up here for myself. They don't even think. I don't think that there's anything more behind you than a big drink of orange juice and a chocolate biscuit. You know, I think that's it. You know, they don't realise that you've sort of done all of the things you've done and you've seen the world basically.